on to our topic number 15, that is how to multiply integers. And there are four cases in multiplying two integers. We have case 1, case 2, case 3, and case 4. So for the multiplier, so let's assume that 1 is positive, also positive, and we have two negatives for case 3 and case 4. And for the multiplicand, so we have positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, so for the case 1, if we will multiply two positive integers, the product is always positive. So kung magmumultiply tayo ng dalawang positive numbers, the answer is always positive. For the case 2, case 3, we are multiplying two opposite numbers. One is positive and the other is negative, or vice versa. And the product is always negative. So in short, kung magmumultiply tayo ng magkakaibang numbers, one is positive for the other and the other is negative, the answer is always negative. That is for case 2 and case 3. In the case of 4, we're multiplying two negatives, so the product is always positive. So the general rule here is that when multiplying two same signs, okay, same signs, the answer is always positive. If we're multiplying two different signs, or rather, two different signs, the answer is always negative. Okay, so for the case 1 and case 4, same signs, the answer is always positive. For the case 2 and case 3, the different signs, the answer is always negative. Okay, that is the only rule when it comes to multiplying two integers sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam at nahihirapan kasi yung merong existence of negative signs. Let's say, for example, number 1, we have positive 3 times positive 7. Alam naman natin that multiplication is a repeated addition. So, pwede natin siyang gawing addition sa mga nahihirapan at hindi alam kung ano ang 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is also the same as what? As 7 plus 7 plus 7. So, we have 3 sevens. 3 times 7 is also the same as 7 plus 7 plus 7, and that is 21. That's the answer. 3 times 7 is equal to 21. Or 3 times 7 can be rewritten as a repeated addition, that is 7 plus 7 plus 7, and that is 21. So, this is case number 1. Since our first multiplier is positive and the second multiplicand is also positive. So this is case 1. When multiplying positive by a positive, the answer is always positive. And we get positive 21. That's the answer. So the result shows that the product of two positive integers is a positive integers. Again, that is for case number 1. Next, number 2, we have the negative 13 times 8. So recall that multiplication is commutative. So pag sinabi natin commutative, pwede nating i-reorder yung ating problem. Okay? Basta yung operation, multiplication and addition. It is not applicable to subtraction and division. Kasi pag gamit tayo ng commutative property of equality in the case of subtraction and division, magkakaroon ng pagkakaibang quotient and difference. Okay? So dito sa addition and multiplication, order does not matter. Kung sino yung nauna, hindi problema yun. Okay, that is commutative. So we can rewrite negative 13 as times 8 as 8 times negative 13. Pareho lamang yung magiging resulta. Again, commutative property of equality only applicable to addition and multiplication. Bawal po siya sa subtraction and division. Okay? So, pwede din natin tong i-rewrite as repeated addition. Sa mga nahihirapan again, when it comes to multiplication. Okay? 8 times negative 13 is also the same as negative 13 plus 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 negative 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus negative 13 plus negative 13. Okay? So we have 8 13s, negative 13s. So again, Negative 13 times 8 is also the same as 8 times negative 13. That is by commutative property of equality. Or it is also the same as negative 13 plus 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 negative 13. Okay? Or that is repeated addition. So, pwede na nating i-add ito. Negative 13 plus negative 13 is negative 26 plus negative 13, that is negative 39 plus 13, negative 13, that is negative 52 plus negative 13, that is negative 65 plus negative 13, that is 78, negative 78 plus negative 13, that is negative 91 plus negative 13, that is 100, 4. Okay? So that means negative 13 times 8 is equal to negative 104. That's the answer. So this is the case of number 3, wherein we're multiplying negative number to a positive number. Since 13 is negative and 8 is positive, different signs yung existence nilang dalawa. So the answer or the product is always negative yan. Okay? So that is different signs. When multiplying different signs, the answer is always negative. Let's proceed to number 3. We have 6 times negative 5. Again, 6 and negative 5. 6 times negative 5 can be rewritten as repeated addition. That is negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 and plus negative 5. So we have 6 negative 5s in total. Okay? So again, 6 times negative 5 is also the same as negative 5 plus 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 negative 5. So we will add. Negative 5 plus negative 5 is negative 10 plus negative 5, negative 15 plus negative 5 is negative 20 plus negative 5 is negative 25 plus negative 5, that is negative 30. So the answer for 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, or 6 times 5 is equal to 30. Okay? And the sign is negative since our multiplicand is negative while our multiplier is positive. So that is the case of number 2. We're multiplying positive to a negative. The answer is always negative. Okay? Or in general rule, we're multiplying different signs. The answer is always negative. Let's proceed to number 4. So here, we cannot express this as repeated addition since both numbers are negative. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng absolute values. So, in multiplying two integers, we need to find the product of their absolute values. So, anong ibig sabihin ng absolute values? When talking about absolute values, yun yung positive value ng isang number. Let's say, for example, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Lahat ng positive value ng negative 2 is equal to 2. That is the absolute value of negative 2. Okay, the answer is 2. What is the absolute value of positive 2? The absolute value of positive 2 is always 2. Okay? Again, we're taking only the positive value of such number or such digit. Okay? So I'm going to erase this one. Let's go back to negative 9 times negative 11. So again, in multiplying two integers, we need to find the product of their absolute value. So in negative 9, the absolute value is positive 9. Okay? So we're taking the positive value of negative 9, that is 9. Okay? And we're taking the positive value of negative 11, that is 11. So hahanapin natin yung product ng 9 and 11. 9 times 11 is also the same as 11 plus 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 11. Okay, if we're adding 9 11s, we get 99. Okay, so 9 times 11 is 99. Now, the question here is, ano ang magiging sign natin dito? So again, This is an example of case number 4. We're multiplying two negatives. One negative multiplier and one negative multiplicand. The product is always positive, okay? If the integers have the same sign, let's say for example, negative, negative in the case of 4, their product is always positive. So therefore, negative 9 times negative 11 is equal to positive 99. That's the answer. Next example. We have 8 times 5. 8 times 5 can be rewritten as repeated addition, okay? Or you can directly multiply 8 and 5 kung alam nyo na. Again, sa mga nahihirapan, multiplication is a repeated addition. That means this process, which is 8 times 5, is also the same as 5 plus 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 5. We're adding 8 5s. Okay, we're adding 8 5s. Or that is 8 times 5. So let's add 5 plus 5, 10, plus 5, 15, plus 5, 20, plus 5, 25, plus 5, 30, plus 5, 35, plus 5, 40. So that means 8 times 5 is equal to 40. Again, this is case number 1. If the integers have the same sign, 8 is positive and 5 is also positive, their product is always positive. So we get a product of positive 4. Number 2, we have negative 4 times negative 3. In this case, we are multiplying two different signs, two the same signs of integers. So therefore, their product must be positive. So here, we will take the absolute value of negative 4, that is 4, and we will take the absolute value of 3, that is 3. And 4 times 3, we all know that is 12, right? 4 times 3 is equal to 12, or 4 3s, that is 4 plus 4 plus 4, or that is also equal to 12. So that means negative 4 times negative 3 is equal to negative 12. So this is the case of case number 4. Multiplier is negative and multiplicand is negative, so we get a product of negative. Again, negative 4 times negative 3 is equal to positive 12. Number 3. How about negative 8 times 5? Negative 8 times 5. Okay, so kung gagawin natin siyang commutative, okay, or gagamit tayo ng commutative property of equality, it is also the same as 5 times negative 8. Again, using commutative property of equality, negative 8 times 5 is also the same as 5 times negative 8. Or, kung i-rewrite natin siya into repeated addition, we get negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8. So we're adding 5 negative 8s here. Again, negative 8 times 5 is also the same as 5 times negative 8 using commutativity or commutative property of equality. Or, it is also the same as negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 using repeated addition. Okay? Again, sa mga nakakaalam ng multiplication, 8 times 5 is equal to 40. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, you can use repeated addition. That is 8 plus negative 8 is negative 16. Plus negative 8 is negative 24, plus negative 8 is negative 32, plus negative 8, we have negative 40. So that means negative 8 times 5 is equal to negative 40. This is case number 3. Multiplier is negative, multiplicand is positive, and the product is always negative. Again, if the integers have different signs, one negative, one positive, their product is always negative. So that's it. Last item. We're multiplying 9 times negative 6. Okay? By repeated addition, 9 times negative 6 is also the same as negative 6, plus 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 negative 6. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus negative 6, plus negative 6. Okay, so we're adding 9 negative 6. That is 9 times negative 6. So sa mga nakakaalam ng 9 times 6, the answer is 54, right? 54. So let's see kung 54 nga ba yung sum nito. So negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12, plus negative 6 is negative 18, plus negative 6 is negative 24, plus negative 6 is negative 30, plus negative 6 is negative 36, plus negative 6 we have negative 42, plus negative 6 is negative 48, plus negative 6 we have negative 54. That's correct. That means 9 times negative 6 is equal to negative 54. This is case number 2, wherein our multiplier is positive and our multiplicand is negative. And the answer or the product is always negative. Okay? If the integers have different signs, the product is negative. Hence, 9 times negative 6 is equal to negative 54. So that's how to multiply integers.